Hello, vinyl community. How are the beautiful people of the VC? I'm Gary, and this is Physical Format Rock and Roll. Thank you so much for tuning in. Boom, I appreciate it. And cheers. So, this is a great time to be a vinyl collector, right? There is so much out there. You've got new releases, you've got reissues, you've got deluxe editions, you've got box sets, so many things that I see on the other channels and people showing. Sometimes I show on my channel, I watch them on yours and I'm thinking, oh man, that looks great. I want that and I want that, and yada, yada, yada. But if you're like me, you can't quite afford all of that stuff, right? I'm kind of getting more and more selective in my new releases and my reissues, those type of things. But I still want to be buying vinyl records, right? And I'm sure you do too, because, vinyl is still my favorite format. And, you want things to listen to on vinyl and you want to help build your collection and whatnot. So what do? Hey, you hone in on those crate digging skills that you have. So all I want to do is give 3 recommendations of some common albums that should be under 10 bucks anywhere you go. If they're not, don't buy it there. Go somewhere else. But this is in record stores, by the way. You're not going to find these in your Goodwills unless you're Josh or JT. But normal people are not going to find these. You do have to go to an actual record store. But anyway, these are 3 that are fairly common. You've probably seen them. You might own 1 or 2 of them, but I think they're worth picking up and enjoying them as a album. My first pick is from 1983, The Motels. They recorded this during the year of 1983, finished it in August and released it in September. They were on quite the roll. This came 1 year after their All for One album. This has the hit Suddenly Last Summer, but it's not just that song, it's the album itself. This is a very unique album. The vocals are fantastic. It's done really well as far as instrumentation. It crosses a couple of genres, and it just holds up as an album as being very unique and a very good listen. So there's my first pick, Little Robbers by The Motels. Next up, here's one. We all know this gentleman, right? And you've probably seen this album sitting there. Maybe you've just walked by it. That is No Control by Eddie Money. This is from 1982. It has the hits I Think I'm in Love and Shaken on here. But it's not just that, okay? If you've never heard this or you haven't heard it for a long time, this is a solid album. Eddie lays down a bunch of good tracks on here. There aren't really any duds. There's some really strong tracks on here, and I think it just makes for a good listen. It is nicely done, and I think you will enjoy it as a whole. You've probably seen it and just went, it's Eddie Money. Good album right here. No Control, Eddie Money. Finally, from 1983, and I had talked about this album a few different times, so nothing new here. But I still see this album out in the wild a lot, and it's usually fairly cheap. If you can find a good copy of this sucker and you don't have it, you've got to pick it up, because if you like rock and roll, you've got to like this album. The debut album from Fastway. This thing is a banger, okay? You've got Fast Eddie from Motorhead. You got Jerry Shirley from Humble Pie on here, and Dave King on vocals. Yeah, Pete Way was supposed to be in a band, but that didn't work out. Anyway, this is just fantastic from start to finish. One of my favorite rock albums of the entire 80s. You gotta have a beer when you're listening to this album. This is great. If you see this, if you don't have it, pick it up. I guarantee you will like it. So there you go. I'm kind of hoping in the comments, maybe you guys will jump onto this and add some albums that you think are out there that people maybe just overlook, or, think about them and say, I don't know about that. Don't overlook them. Build up your collection with some great music. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Gary. This is Physical Format Rock and Roll. Until the next time, my friend, I will see you down the road.